All right, so here is my own stretching routine. A lot of times I'm talking with clients and I'm trying to promote stretching at home, either at night to get ready for bed or after workouts, and I throw them some resources that I think that would be suitable for each individual for the type of stretching that would be good for them. But I a lot of times find a lack of follow through just because they're still very unsure about what they're supposed to be doing. So here is my attempt to help those clients out, and any of you that are watching, this is my own personal stretching routine that I go through. I try to go through at least twice a week. I find myself doing it at least once every weekend, and then when I can during the week. This is a full body general stretching routine. This isn't for anything specific like tight low backs or tight hamstrings or anything like that, but it will address the full body and leave you feeling good after a workout, or nice and relaxed, ready for bed. A good thing to do after your workouts. Many times I've said before that the way you finish one workout session is how you start the next one. So if you finish one workout and you just walk out the door, you're going to get really tight. You're going to start your next session pretty tight. But if you finish a workout and you do some self-care, you do some stretching, you make sure you get plenty of water, good sleep, your next session is going to start off a lot easier with you feeling good. So anyways, starting the stretching routine, I'm going to try to walk you through with why I do what I do and what each stretch is, where you're supposed to be feeling it. Again, another thing that I say all the time is that stretching is both an art and a science. There's a science why these stretches work. There's biomechanics, everything like that. But the art is taking each stretch individually and making it work for you and your body type and what you need it to do. So I'm going to show you how I stretch these things, but play around with the angles, play around with the intensity, and just like little variables like that, and you'll find that maybe you make one stretch work really well for you. Okay, so I start off just loosening up the glutes and the low back. Especially, I just got done training, so everything's a little bit tight. I can't just switch from go right into stretching like that. That can be detrimental. So I got to loosen everything up, loosen up the hips, loosen up the back. And like I said, I'm just going to go through this. You can take as much time as you need in each position. A little butterfly stretch, loosen, open up the hips. Or maybe you feel like you don't need one of these stretches. Maybe I need it really badly and I spend some time on it. Maybe you don't need it. After you learn it, you can just skip right through it. You can take little bits and pieces of these stretches. You can use them as you need. So again, just going back and forth. Not really targeting any one area just yet, just loosening up, getting ready to stretch. Just like you get ready to work out, you have to get ready to stretch. Don't forget to loosen up your lats. The lats are the one upper body muscle that cover a huge area of the upper body and also tie into the lower body. So if your lats are tight, you can find that they can restrict your hip mobility. They can affect the tilt of your pelvis, as well as many other things. Okay, then I'm going to go into loosening up those hip flexors. Those often get really tight, both in working out and just sitting around all day. So again, I've put this video out there, the McKinsey technique. I've added a little bit of PNF to it in a sequence to modify it. A lot of my clients love this. The first thing they do when they walk into the gym is they just find a spot on the floor and start doing this. Coming in from their job or school or whatever, this is a great way to start off your session. Opening up your hips. A lot of workouts here especially are focused on increasing extension, power, speed, and you're going to find it very hard to open up, extend fully if your hip flexors are really tight. So again, in the modified video that I did, I spent a lot of time in this stretch. Here, I'm not going to spend as much time. do a lot of wiggling. This is especially true if you've been training for a long time. This is something that I believe is in one of Charles Poliquin's books. But the greater your strength training age, meaning the longer you've been in training and in the gym, the longer it's going to take to loosen up any given joint. Because the muscles surrounding that joint gets stronger, and it gets more secure, and it gets very, very tight. So if you're trying to create space in that joint, or if you're trying to stretch those muscles, it's going to take a little bit more relaxing, a little bit more time to let that joint loosen up and get some stretching that you need. Get the stretching that you need. All right, so that feels pretty good. That feels loose. Low back is feeling pretty good. First stretch I like to go into, we'll do a little bit of a child's pose again. Focusing on incorporating those lats. We'll go into a lunge stretch here. Now you can hit a lot of different things in this position. So again, the art is making this one pose, this one stretch, work for what you need it to do. So if I focus on pushing my hips to the ground, right, I'm going to feel that stretch more in that hip flexor area right there, right? I can raise my hand, I can lean back a little bit more, incorporate more of those upper body muscles, the thoracic area, right? I can also reach through and attack that thoracic area a little bit differently. You can hear that I'm really tight there, right? We can ease up, reach back. I don't know if you can see this. I can grab my foot and I can go back, leaning forward. Now it's a lot more in the quad. Rectus femoris. I'm not going to try to sound smart. I'm just going to tell you where I feel it, right? The quads, depending on the angle you're stretching, you'll feel it in one of the different quads. A little bit more in the adductors and VMO here. All right, switch legs. Pushing the hip to the ground. Playing with the angles. Quads, play with the angles. And again, even here, if I wanted to pull on my toes more, right, grab a little bit higher and pull on the toes, I can also stretch the tibia muscles as well. That right there, a lot in the tibia. So if you get, what are they called? Runners, shins. What's that called? Oh my God, tight shins, whatever that's called. I can't think of it right now. That's a great stretch for that. No chance of editing that out. Okay, again, it's always good to revisit the child's pose. Back on the butt, rocking back and forth, getting this low back loosened up again before we start getting to some more hamstrings in the calves. Opening up. So you'll notice that I don't do a lot of like aggressive bouncing when I stretch, hamstrings or any of the muscles. I do more of a rocking back, changing the angles. Stretching does cause micro tears in the muscles that you will have to heal from. It's not a bad thing, so does working out. But with that in mind, that's why I'm not a big fan of any like ballistic type of stretching where you're just really ratcheting it, trying to get deeper or anything like that. Muscles need convincing, right? They don't need force and persuasion. They need convincing. Whether you're trying to grow a muscle bigger with hypertrophy, get stronger, or trying to stretch, it's all about coaxing the muscle with gentle persuasion over time. Down the middle. So at this point, my lower body's feeling pretty good. You'll notice that if we look back in this video, I didn't start from the bottom and work up. You start from the center and work outward. That's a very important concept. If you're tight somewhere distally, right, chances are you're going to be very tight and guarded proximally, right in the center. So I like to start from hip flexors, low back, glutes, lots of deep breathing if they really need it, but calm and relax here makes everything easier out here. Okay. So I realize this next part, a lot of people may not be able to get into this position. You can stretch, you can do this next part in lifting shoes, you can use wedge, you can raise up your heels however you want. You can also just skip this part if you want to. However, being able to get into a full squat position has many benefits aside from just being able to get under a barbell and do a full squat. So I would advise you working with, whoever that you have in your life, your strength coach or stretch therapist or whatever it is, and really invest some time and some effort into your ability to get and be comfortable in the bottom of a squat position. I know it can seem like impossible for some people where they are, but I have had very good success getting all kinds of people from different walks of life eventually into a very deep squat position. Sometimes it takes months, sometimes it takes one session, but I believe that where there's a will, there's a way for most people and cases. So again, into this full squat position, getting comfortable here first, ankles, calves, knees, low back. Also in this position, I like to start working and incorporating some of the upper body stuff. This is a very good position for me to start stretching forearms, the hands, biceps. Pushing open, chest up. From here, raising up. I'm just going to change my angle so you can see. Raising up. I do revisit positions a lot through my routine. Sometimes when you stretch one area, it makes another area that you stretched previously a little bit more loose and you can get a little bit deeper. Then, laying on the stomach. All right, I believe this is called the scorpion stretch. Maybe you call it something else. Take this one starting slow and gradually build up into it as you loosen up, okay? There's a little bit of a dynamic component to this. Putting your hands out here, just start small, going back and forth, loosening up those hips. you're going to try to get your foot closer and closer to your hands. All right, the next part of this, same thing, but now we're on our back. Loosen up that low back. Here, swing down, swing up. Okay, let's revisit the first position. Much better. Good. All right. All right, now we're going to start stretching some of the shoulders. So, internal, external rotation, taking it very easy and gently, finding that end range for me, right? Some people might be up here, some people might just fall flat to the floor. So once I find that, I'm using this hand to gently apply some pressure and then ease off. Again, apply some pressure, stretch. You're gonna feel this one all up in here. And ease off. One more time. See, now I'm down to the floor. Good. All right. To the side over here so you can see. So this side's obviously a little bit better. You can still feel it though, so I'm going to go through the whole full 3 ones. All right. Some basic tricep stretching, grabbing the elbow if you can. If you can't, you can just take the hand, grab your wrist, and pull across as you push the lat, where the tricep and the lat meet, push that out as you pull this way. Or if you can, you're going to grab the elbow and get a little bit more of a direct stretch. Another thing you can do to feel this more in the tricep is once you have your hand back there, take this here and really push it down. So don't just let it hang, push it, lean. You're going to feel that a lot here in the tricep. Do this one. All right, this next one is for the bicep and where the pec tie in. You're gonna lay on the floor. Let's see, how do I show you this one? Here, put your hand out,